Hello all, welcome to the new video. Here in this particular video, we are going to discuss about one of my recent interview which I was attended for the role of Principal Infra Associate. They are considering both the DevOps as well as DevSecOps experience, guys. So I do have the same and they considered it, and I will discuss the questions as well as the responses and also my experience as well and interview process as well as some tips at the end of the video. Okay, so it was the first technical round and at the 3.5 years of experience, and they are looking for a candidate who have 3 to some 5 years in between that candidate. Okay, so the interview process was there will be a first technical discussion with the direct company, and the second round will be a client discussion. It is like technical discussion with the client, and third round will be HR round. Okay, and all the interviews, I mean virtual, will be happened. And yeah, the company name was Mphasis. And without further ado, let's discuss about the questions and answers. Okay, so as usual, the first question was regarding the introduction. The question is, can you briefly introduce yourself? What is your what kind of your work have you done in the past as a DevOps and DevSecOps, and what is your day-to-day activities? Okay, and there is only one panel member. Okay, and it took around 30 minutes, I can say. Okay, whenever you are answering, like introduce about yourself, in you can take some 3 to 4 minutes and explain your like introduction and day-to-day activities. If they haven't mentioned that, so try to cover the day-to-day activities. Okay, why? Because they need to understand, right, like where exactly you are standing. So based upon that only the follow-up questions will be asked. Okay, you can answer like, I have around 3 to 3.5 years of experience working in a DevOps as well as DevSecOps roles. I've worked mainly in the like e-commerce as well as banking sectors, and my work focus is on building and managing the CI/CD pipelines by using Jenkins as well as GitLab CI/CD. I also responsible for integrating the security tools like Fortify, OApps, Dependency Check, Zap, Trevi, Snyk, Checkmarks, GitLeaks, SonarQube into the existing pipeline, and I mean, at the end, we are going to containerize the application, and also we are managing those containers with the help of orchestration platform with Kubernetes. So we are using both Docker and Kubernetes, and also we use the infrastructure automation tool by using Terraform, and for configuration we are also using Ansible as a tool. And I also worked on a cloud platform, especially AWS, and I also have a fundamental knowledge and working experience of Azure as well as GCP. My day-to-day activities include reviewing and implementing the pipelines, and reviewing the vulnerabilities and scans, managing the Kubernetes deployments, and writing the automation scripts by using a Python primarily, and shell as well. And we also responsible for managing the production workloads with monitoring and logging tools like Prometheus and Grafana. Yeah, this is how you can answer. Okay, and if you have any idea of sharing your furthermore experiences also, you can share. Okay, and remember, don't exceed like more than like 4 to 5 minutes. Okay, where some people might get bored, and in some cases the interviewer itself is they will ask like, quickly introduce yourself, just kind of brief on you like that. Okay, in that case, don't try to take more time, try to finish in 1 to 2 minutes. Okay, so yeah, moving to the next question. Can you explain me how the CI/CD works? The next question is regarding the CI/CD. Basically, CI/CD is a software CI/CD is a software engineering practice where it involves both the continuous integration as well as continuous deployment and delivery. So if we talk about the continuous integration part, which is CI part, where the developers push the, CI will comes into the place where the developers pushes the code into a repository, let's say Git as a centralized repository. A pipeline automatically runs to build the application and to run the test cases, to perform the security scans, and it will package and upload the artifacts into a artifact repository manager. Okay, so these are all the things done in the CI part. Now coming to the continuous delivery and deployment part. So CD, what exactly it does was, the whatever the packaged code is there, that will be automatically deployed to a staging or some production environments depending upon the release strategy. Okay, so basically what it will ensures was, there is a faster feedback loop by using CI as well as CD, and there is a early detection of like defects or vulnerabilities, and we are going to reduce the manual efforts also. Okay, those are the like major advantages, and it will ensures to cover this. And moving to the next question, what CI/CD tools have you used? So in some cases, interviewer might expect whatever the things mentioned in the job description. Definitely they look for a candidate who already have your working experience on that. Okay, so similar kind of tools also they will consider if you have experience. Okay, so primarily they will look for a candidate who fits for that. Okay, who already have your experience on that. Okay, rather than working on a similar tool. Obviously they need some time to understand those new tool in the organization, so that the interviewer or the organizations prefer the candidate who already have that specific tool experience. Okay, so in this case my answer would be like I have a Jenkins, where we are using a pipeline as a code with Groovy script, and GitLab also, where YAML based configuration is mapped in GitLab. And yeah, those are the two I have. And moving to the next question, can you explain how to write a CI file, and what steps or stages have you written? So the question is regarding the CI. Okay, so how the CI continuous integration stages will be there. Basically continuous integration, if we talk about let's say example GitLab, it follows the same thing in Jenkins also, like whatever the pipeline is there. Okay, only the syntax like differ. The stages include like build stage, test stage, and a scan stage and deploy stage. Okay, build, test, scan, deploy. These are the four stages included in continuous integration file, where like in the build stage we are going to use Maven clean stage and Maven build, sorry, Maven clean packages. That will be the command we can use. And in the test stage, test is basically scanning the source code for vulnerabilities, or scanning the Docker images for vulnerabilities. Okay, and then sorry, in the security stage that will come. Okay, security in the sense scan stage. Okay, test stage like test cases like Maven test. Okay, that will be the command. And in the deploy stage, let's say if you wanted to sorry, let's say if you wanted to deploy the application into a Docker and Kubernetes, then the deploy will be comes into here. Okay, so basically the build stage compiles and packages the code, test stage will runs the unit test cases, and scan stage will perform the checks from WAPs tools or Trivi or Snyk, Fortify, like that. And deploy stage, we are going to push to the Kubernetes or whatever the target environment is there. Okay, and The next follow-up question was, what is continuous deployment and continuous delivery and deployment? Okay, so basically there is a small difference between the continuous delivery and deployment. Continuous, if we talk about the continuous delivery, the code changes are automatically prepared for release to a production, but whenever you are deploying, it triggers manually. Okay, so basically whenever it was moving the code to the production level, then automatically it won't happen. So manual approval is required. Okay, so if you talk about, that approval is required in continuous delivery stage. Okay, if you talk about the continuous deployment stage, where every change that pass automated tests in automatically is automatically deployed to a production. There is no manual approval is required for going to a production. That is the basic difference. Okay, and moving to the next question, what is the application code base you have worked with? Okay, basically application code base in the sense, what exactly the application source code backend language you are using. Okay, which target application you are working. That might be a Node.js application or some Java or Python, like that. Okay, so mostly many of the application in the organization is Java based application. In my case, it is Java Spring Boot microservices, and also some Python based microservices, and for front end it is Angular and React apps. And the next question was, in CI stages, what tools for security have you integrated? Okay, so I think we already covered the same, but I will cover one more time. We integrated Snyk for dependency scanning, and Trivi for container image scanning, Fortify for static code analysis, WAPS dependency check for open source vulnerability detection, and Zap also for dynamic application security testing. For dashed, again Fortify will come into picture, and Git for secret detection. Git or there is one more tool for secret detection, Git Guardian, I think. Okay, I think these are the security tools I have integrated into a pipeline. And whenever you are explaining those, don't give just a single liner. Okay, so try to explain some more. Okay, so if based upon the interviewer response or his or her reaction, you can proceed whether you need to answer full-fledgedly or you need to stop in between. Okay, so based upon their response, you need to go. Okay, so moving to the next question, how you integrated Snyk into your code? Basically, we need to Snyk we integrated into a code for dependency scanning, and first of all we need to install Snyk CLI in the continuous environment, continuous integration environment, and we need to authenticate by using a API token from Snyk dashboard, and we need to add a specific stage in the pipeline where that command includes a Snyk auth, and whatever the Snyk auth token is there, we need to pass that, and then the next command will be a Snyk test severity hyphen threshold is equal to high or low, whatever you need to list down the findings. You can write the command accordingly, write that logic accordingly. Okay, basically Snyk test hyphen vulnerability. Okay, that is the command. Okay, to initiate a scan. Okay, so yeah, moving to the next question, are you containerizing the applications? Which repo or registry are you using? Basically, whenever you are containerizing the application at the end, obviously many organizations follow the same. So containerizing in the sense we are using Docker or not. Okay, so what is the like containerize like end target environment basically. Okay, so what a registry are you using? Registry in the sense there are like multiple registries, like cloud provided registries like AWS ECR Elastic Cloud Registry, GKE Google Cloud Registry, Azure also is there, Azure Elastic Registry or something like that. Okay, so and Docker Hub was the registry. Okay, so we use Docker Hub as a registry for storing the images, containers and all. Okay, and moving to the next question, have you used a Docker file? Okay, so after like whenever you are saying yes, I have used a Docker file, like we have created a Docker file, like example structure also you can explain, like from we need to take a base image and we need to set up your working directory and we need to copy the code to a target environment, or I mean code or whatever, like build file is there, jar file is there, okay, to the current directory, and we can run the CMD and we can set up the we can expose the port and entry point, like whatever the command we need to run we can run that. Okay, so moving to the next question, how CD done? Basically CD is a continuous deployment or delivery process. So we do have a GitLab CD pipelines with like kubectl apply commands. So whenever we used to have a EKS, whenever we are using AWS as a cloud service, at the time we used to have a EKS, and there is a rollout strategy. Rollout is automated by using a Kubernetes deployment strategies like canary deployment, blue-green deployment, Kubernetes rollouts. Okay, and moving to the next question, what specifically you have worked on with CI and which tools have you used? Basically I think this question is regarding the tools of CI integration tools like Jenkins, GitLab, and also covers which tools, like what exactly are you integrating into the continuous integration server. Okay, so we are integrating multiple tools for build, test, scan and deploy stages. That includes secret scanning, software composition analysis, SAST, DAST, SBOM, like different and configuration management, Ansible also we can integrate, Docker, Kubernetes, like that. Okay, what deployment strategy you have used? How many servers have you handled? So we are using a rolling updates for Kubernetes, and sometimes also we use blue-green deployments for some critical banking service. And in our project currently we are managing 20 plus Kubernetes nodes across pods and across different production and non-production environment. And moving to the next question, have you divided your deployment into any stages? Basically, this question is asking about like what is the stages, like development, QA, pre-prod, prod, like that. Each organization follows the different. Some organizations follow only two, which is QA and production. Okay, some organizations they follow QA, pre-prod and prod. Pre-prod is basically just identical to the production. Some companies, based upon their resources, like constraints and all, they follow only majorly two. Okay. Majorly three. Development obviously should be there, and one is QA, test, pre-prod, whatever they name. Okay, and the final one is production. Okay, and moving to the next question, do you have separate DevOps team working on your deployment? Some organizations have a dedicated team for that, right? So he wanted to understand what exactly the posture current, like after answering this, they will get to know what exactly we are working on. Okay, so in my case, we do have a dedicated team for who is working for your deployment, but I am also directly involved in deployment automation, some pipeline enhancements, and monitoring the production rollouts and all. And moving to the next question, what exactly you have worked on in your project? So basically, whenever you face these kind of questions, they need to understand more about, or else they are not getting certain clarity on your profile. So at that time, they may ask this kind of questions. So better to, whenever you are answering, especially what is your day-to-day activities or tool set you have worked on, what exactly your task, or else are you involved in a specific point of time in the software development lifecycle, or entirely you are there, how exactly your posture current working organization, like that they may ask. So you can answer accordingly. Basically, I was primarily working on a build and CI/CD pipeline optimization part, and I was responsible for integrating the security scanning into the DevSecOps pipeline, and I was also automated the infra provisioning by using Terraform, and managed the Docker and Kubernetes for deployment purposes, and managed and created the Grafana and basically Grafana dashboards. Okay, whatever exact work you are doing, try to minimalize. Okay, so that they will understand what exactly your work areas. Okay, based upon that they target. If that profile is not suitable, obviously they may look for another candidate. Okay, you need to respect their time as well as what exactly they are looking. You need to try to satisfy, and don't try to, in that case, try to satisfy in the sense, don't try to lie, or don't try to showcase what you really not worked. Okay, so that is the some mistakes some people will do whenever they ask a question on that. They may think if this is something important, or that might be something important, or that might be something which is mandatory as per the job description, but you haven't worked. Obviously you can say I in the work environment or in the production level I haven't worked, but as a personal project I have done. If you have a little hands-on, like that you can answer. Okay, so moving to the next question, what is your cloud platform? So basically primarily I use AWS, and I have a basic exposure with Azure as well as GCP. And the next question was what resources have you created with the Terraform, and what resources have you worked with? Basically he wanted to understand what exactly the primary resources I have worked. I have worked with AWS VPC, subnets, route tables, security groups, and EC2 instances, EKS, S3 buckets, RDS, IAM roles and policies. These are the primary resources, and I have also created these resources by using a Terraform with the automated scripts. And the next question was, what is CSPM and how do you do that? Basically, a CSPM is a cloud security posture management. We are going to continuously monitoring the cloud environments to detect and fix the misconfigurations. So basically, there is a policies actually. Let's say if it is in AWS, we use AWS config or some security hub, and occasionally we are going to integrate a Trevi or open source checks, and then we are going to identify some public S3 buckets, let's say, or else some over permissive IAM roles, and some open security groups, etc. With the help of policy, we are able to find out that. Okay, and if there is any configuration drifts also, that will also be highlighted there. And the next question was, when you used Python or shell scripting, I mean, he was asking, oh, what exactly the last time you have used, and last time, can you tell me the recent scripts have you used? He wanted to know like where exactly and what exactly I have written in the Python scripts and when it was used lastly. So I have written a Python script for checking basically the CPU and memory metrics, and also we are going to do some kind of research and development on different aspects also. So let's say if you wanted to find some crash loop backup state pod in Kubernetes, so with the help of this script we used to identify that, and let's say we need to delete or stop the whatever the servers which is in the production, in the dev environment. So we can achieve that by using a script. I explained the same thing, and like whatever the script you have used lastly, you can explain. I did the same. Okay, so in your case, I mean, be prepared for the scripts. Okay, there might be the cases where people are generally if you didn't get a chance to use on your daily basis, okay, but you need to be prepared for those the answers. Okay, so be prepared for shell scripting, like day-to-day activities what can be automated. Okay, and especially Python also. So in some cases they may look for a good scripting candidate. Okay, so be prepared for that. And the next question was how Docker works and how to containerize the application. He wanted to know like my understanding of architecture of Docker, and how exactly the Docker works, and how exactly you will containerize the application once you receive the code from the developer, let's say. So basically in Docker there is a three components, which is Docker. I mean, Docker works on client server architecture. The three components are a Docker client, and one was a Docker host, and another was Docker registry. So Docker client is basically kind of a CLI utility. It's just kind of front end only. So whatever we are executing the commands with the help of CLI. So in the backend, it was giving to a Docker daemon. Okay, Docker daemon is in the client server architecture. I said, right? In the server, it will be there. Okay, that means agent. Okay, the Docker host mission. Okay, so we can run the Docker client in one mission, and we can connect the Docker host which is in another mission also. Okay, that is basically a client server architecture. So whenever we are giving the command to the Docker CLI, that means Docker client, that will pass the command to a Docker host. In Docker host there is a Docker daemon. Okay, so Docker daemon is actually the executor, whatever the work we are giving through the CLI. Okay, so let's say if we use Docker build, okay, that means based on the Docker file you need to build a image out of it. Okay, in that case it will build with the help of daemon in the Docker host. Okay, let's say there is another command Docker Docker pull. In that case, what the Docker daemon does was it will goes to the Docker registry and then it will pull the image to the Docker host mission. Okay, so these are the like three different entities: client, host, and registry. So from the help of client, you are talking to a Docker host, which is Docker daemon, to pull the image from the Docker registry. So Docker daemon will goes to the Docker registry and pulls the image and keeps in the Docker host mission. And when you run the Docker image, okay, so basically Docker run the command you will give from the Docker client mission, it goes to the Docker host mission, that means basically Docker daemon, and it will runs the image from the existing images and it will up the container in the Docker host mission. Okay, so yeah, this is basically the Docker architecture. And I think, yeah, these are the questions I have faced in the interview. The interview went well, and at the end, he gave some kind of feedback also, what areas you need to focus. And the tip in this particular video was, whenever you are preparing for your job description, majorly stick for the job description, right? Because the interviewer obviously look for a candidate who have a proficiency or skill set, whatever they have mentioned in the job description. Okay, so you need to be kind of a satisfactory person, so that they will move ahead with your profile. So there might be a tool stack, like your company or your current working project using another tool stack, and the job description might be differ. Okay, but the concept will be the same. You need to try to understand those concepts and tell the same in the interviewer also. Okay, so if the tool difference, I think there is no scope of rejecting the candidate if you know the concept. Why? Because they definitely adopt those concepts, understand those tools easily with the help of the concepts. Okay, so that is the one thing. And also you need to consider the job description, that is also one more thing. Okay, so yeah, I think it is good to move then, and I will definitely share the further more updates. And yeah, stay tuned for more videos. Thank you so much for watching.